Hey, Mr. Rob Belcham, Chief Designer, Software Engineer,
yeah, kind of
Architect,
lead engineer, architect, yeah,
on the
call it what you
DeepMind.
like.
So I'm guessing, there's been so much of this in the world before this. It's now here in person amongst people. How are you finding the experience?
It's an absolute pleasure. I've been looking forward to this for quite a while. It's great to finally see people be able to get their hands on it, have a play with it, and get people's reactions. That's what it's all about, really. Seeing it being used and seeing the smiles on people's faces, going, "Oh, yeah, that's nice, that's nice." That's what it's about.
There has been so much. I think the last time I looked at that Gearslutz topic, it was 240 pages long on Gearslutz.
Yeah.
There's an awful lot of
crazy
conjecture, and it's going to happen, isn't it, when you do such a prolonged teaser? So there were some questions that came up.
I've been wanting to dive in, but it's like as soon as you start, that's it. I'd never get out, so I've deliberately stayed out. So yeah, glad to answer some questions.
So first of all, is it a sub-oscillator or a second oscillator, the second DCO?
Well, as you know, the original Juno 106 had a square wave sub-oscillator. So when we first started with the project, that was the idea. And then the way it was implemented, I quickly realised that actually I'm not tied to the same frequency or an octave down. I can actually have a different frequency for the second oscillator. So that then opened up the possibility of adding sync, and also to have a little bit of a play with the basic square waveform, and add the tone mod feature.
Okay. Tone mod is what? Is it pulse width or is it wave folding?
I would say it's more of a wavefold. So it's instead of the central point switching, you have in your square wave, you have
lots of kids here today. It doesn't matter. We can hear you fine.
So yeah, you have a square wave, and in the centre of the square wave, you have a little pulse that opens out. So at a certain point, you get a square wave of twice the frequency, and then as you go, you get a little bit further, and it goes up to like a fifth harmonic. It produces always kind of metallic or almost bell-like sounds occasionally. It just adds to the tonal palette.
And speaking of it, obviously you started out in the world of Juno. Do you now think actually would it be nice to have more waveforms available on those oscillators?
Yeah, absolutely. We did what we could with the architecture. The original was a single DCO, so you've kind of got the second DCO for free. But yeah, going forward, we'd like to look at adding more oscillators, more variable wave shapes. At the end of the day, it's all about increasing your basic tonal palette.
And of course, one of the other things is obviously software control of the hardware. How is there a lot you can do in just firmware updates and OS updates?
Yeah, absolutely. The software is upgradable. We've been, using that internally, externally. We've got plans. We're getting kind of close to the release now, so we've got to put a halt on the new features. We've got to stop. We've got to get it all, all tickety-boo, all working nicely. And then, once we've released, we can start getting some feedback, see what features people would like to see, get the top 10 features, because as you say, there's a lot we can do. There are things which we've got planned, which we deliberately kind of left out, version 1. So there's definitely scope for expanding their capabilities.
And I suppose schedule-wise, I know you probably shouldn't tell me anything, but are you still looking for before the end of the year?
That's the target, So, we're getting the next set of boards beginning of September, and then we're going into pre-production. So, it's all go.
Rob, thank you so much.
Okay, no problem.